Imagine standing in the pitch-black silence of a cavern, miles beneath the Earth's surface, tens of thousands of years ago. By the flickering light of a tallow lamp, you reach out to the stone wall and leave a mark that will outlast civilizations. This was the moment humanity truly began.
For millions of years, our ancestors focused on one thing: survival. But then, something shifted in the human brain. We stopped just using tools to hunt and started using them to create, marking the birth of culture, music, and the very first artists in human history.
Our journey begins 75,000 years ago in Blombos Cave, South Africa. Here, we find the earliest evidence of abstract thought, pieces of red ochre engraved with careful geometric patterns. These weren't tools, they were symbols, the first step toward a written language.
But art wasn't just about stones, it was about identity. In the same cave, archaeologists discovered tiny sea snail shells, pierced and worn as beads. For the first time, humans were telling the world who they were through personal adornment and style. As humans migrated into Europe, their artistic ambition exploded. Deep within the Chauvet Cave in France, we find a literal Sistine Chapel of the Ice Age. Horses, rhinos, and lions leap across the walls in a display of technical skill that rivals modern masters. What's most incredible is how these ancient artists used the natural contours of the rock. A bulge in the stone became the muscular shoulder of a bison. A crack became the horizon line. They weren't just painting on the wall, they were collaborating with the earth itself. Art wasn't just visual, it was immersive. Many of these paintings are found in chambers with extraordinary acoustics. When early humans sang or beat drums in these spots, the echoes would have made the painted animals feel alive, creating a prehistoric multimedia experience. And then there is the music. In a cave in Germany, researchers found a flute carved from the wing bone of a vulture, dating back 40,000 years. It's tuned to a scale we would recognize today, proving that music is a fundamental part of the human soul. Imagine the sound of that flute drifting through a cold Ice Age night, accompanied by the rhythmic thumping of skin drums. Music didn't just entertain, it bonded tribes together, creating a shared identity that was essential for survival in a harsh, unforgiving world. We also see the first signs of sculpture. The Venus of Willendorf, a small figurine carved from limestone, dates back 30,000 years. Its exaggerated features suggest it was a symbol of fertility, a physical manifestation of a spiritual or religious belief. But perhaps the most haunting images are the hand stencils. By blowing pigment through a hollow reed over their hands, our ancestors left their signatures on the walls. They are saying across time, I was here. I am human. I exist. These handprints weren't just random marks. They were often placed in specific locations, perhaps as part of a ritual or a rite of passage. In some caves, we find stencils of hands with missing fingers, suggesting a complex symbolic language we are only beginning to understand. As we move forward in time, the art becomes more narrative. At Lascaux, we see scenes that look like stories, hunters facing off against massive stags and bulls. This is the beginning of storytelling, the foundation of every movie, book, and play ever written. These artists were also early chemists. They ground minerals like manganese and hematite into fine powders, mixing them with animal fat or spit to create paints that have lasted for 40,000 years. Their ink was literally part of the earth. The environment of the Ice Age was a driving force for this creativity. As glaciers covered the land, humans spent more time in sheltered caves. This indoor time provided the leisure and the necessity to develop complex social structures through art and ritual. But art wasn't just for the deep caves. It was everywhere. We find intricately carved spear throwers, decorated with the likenesses of the animals they were meant to hunt. To the first artists, there was no line between the functional and the beautiful. This explosion of creativity was a cognitive revolution. It marked the point where the human mind became capable of abstract thought, allowing us to imagine things that weren't there, gods, myths, and a future beyond the present moment. In the whole Fells Cave, we found the Lion Man, a figurine with the body of a human and the head of a lion. This is the world's oldest known zoomorphic sculpture, the first evidence that humans could imagine supernatural beings. Art also played a role in the first rituals surrounding death. At the Sungir site in Russia, individuals were buried with thousands of ivory beads and elaborate carvings. These weren't just burials. They were artistic statements about the status and the soul of the deceased. What drove this need to create? Some believe it was hunting magic, the idea that by drawing an animal, the hunter gained power over it. By capturing the image of the bison on the wall, they hoped to capture the bison in the field. Others suggest that these caves were the sites of shamanic journeys. Under the influence of rhythmic drumming and sensory deprivation, shamans would enter trances, seeing the spirits of the animals emerging from the very rock itself. Regardless of the why, the how is a testament to human persistence. Many of these paintings are located in incredibly difficult to reach places. These artists crawled through narrow tunnels and climbed steep ledges just to reach their canvas. The materials they used tell a story of trade and travel. Pigments found in certain caves originated hundreds of miles away. This suggests a vast network of exchange, where not only goods, but artistic styles and ideas were shared across the continent. As the Ice Age ended and the climate warmed, art moved out of the deep caves and into the open air. Rock art began to appear on cliffs and boulders, depicting more scenes of daily life, dancing, gathering honey, and social gatherings. This shift signaled a new relationship with the world. We were no longer just observers of nature, we were participants in it. Our art began to reflect our growing dominance over the landscape and our complex social bonds. But even as our technology advanced, we never lost that primal connection to the first artists. Every time we pick up a brush, a camera, or a musical instrument, we are echoing the same impulse that drove a person into a dark cave 40,000 years ago. The first artists weren't just primitive people making simple marks. They were visionaries who invented the very concept of culture. They turned a struggle for survival into a quest for meaning. And in doing so, they made us who we are today. We often think of progress as a straight line of technological improvement. But the history of art shows us that the human spirit was fully formed and brilliantly creative from the very start. We didn't learn to be artists, we were born artists. This legacy is written in the very stone of our planet. From the deserts of Australia to the canyons of the Americas and the caves of Europe, the first artists left a global record of our shared humanity. a message that survives across the eons. As we look back at these ancient masterpieces, we realize they are not just relics of the past. They are mirrors. They reflect our fears, our triumphs, our curiosity, and our eternal need to say, I am here, and I have a story to tell. Next time you hear a song that moves you, or see a painting that takes your breath away, remember the person in the dark cave with the tallow lamp. They started the fire that still burns in every one of us. The story of the first artists is our story. It's the story of how we found our voice, how we found each other, and how we found our place in the universe. It is the story of the invention of the human soul. Thank you for joining us on this journey back to the dawn of creativity. If you enjoyed this exploration of our ancient roots, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the history that makes us human. What do you think the first artists were trying to communicate? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories on the origins of human culture. Until next time, keep creating, keep wondering, and keep exploring the incredible story of us. I'm your host, and this has been The Story of the First Artists.